Accessing the lab attendance reports for 2 or more CRNs is exactly the same as accessing the lab attendance report for 1 CRN. First, start by logging into My Portal. When you've logged in, click on the Faculty tab. If you see a security warning asking you to hide insecure objects, click on No to access all of the links. Once on the page, scroll down, and on the right-hand side, you will see a link that says Lab Attendance by Professor. Click on that link. It will take you to the Lab Attendance Query by Instructor page. Here you can run weekly attendance reports or semester attendance reports. In order to run a report under term, make sure you select the correct semester you want to run the report for. For this example, I'll run an attendance report for spring 2012. To run a weekly attendance report, it's a good idea to start the report on the Monday of that week all the way until the Sunday of that week. For this example, I'll run an attendance report for week 4 of spring 2012. So under the From date, I'll select the Monday of that week, which was March 19th. On the To date, I'll select the Sunday of that week, which was March 25th. If I wanted to run a semester report, I don't need to indicate a start date or an end date. The next piece of information I'll need is the lab's CRNs that I want to run the report for. Each semester, the lab CRNs for each computer and tutoring facility on campus changes. Click on the link provided to see the most up-to-date list of CRNs. Depending on which facility you want to see the CRN for, you can click on that link. For this example, I want to access the lab attendance reports for all of the American language speaking students that access both the Language Learning Center and the Writing Center lab. So I'll need both of the CRNs associated with those facilities. First, I'll get the Language Learning Center CRN. First, I'll click on the Language Learning Center link, and it will take me to the CRNs associated with the LLC. Because I want the American language speaking students, I'll highlight the CRN associated with that. I'll right-click and copy. I'll go back to the Lab Attendance Query by Instructor page. Next to the Lab CRNs in the first spot, I'll right-click to paste. Next, I'll need the CRN associated with the Writing Center lab. So I'll head on over to the Lab and Tutoring CRN window that's already been open. I'll scroll up until I see the Writing Center link, and I'll click on that link. It will take me to the CRNs associated with the Writing Center lab. Because I want the CRN associated with AMLA speaking students, which are AMLA courses 21 to 33, I'll go ahead and highlight the CRN. I'll right-click to copy. I'll go over to the Lab Attendance Query by Instructor page again. Next to the first CRN, I'll add the second CRN by right-clicking to paste. The next piece of information I'll need is the Instructor ID. When you log into My Portal will automatically fill in this slot for you with your Instructor ID, so you don't need to touch this space. In terms of class CRN, you can leave these spaces blank. What My Portal will do when you run the attendance report is it will automatically associate your class CRN with your Instructor ID. Now that I've filled in the correct semester, my start and end date, and my lab CRNs that I want to run reports for, as well as the instructor ID, I'll go ahead and click Submit. It may take a while, but eventually the report will appear. Once the attendance report appears, there are 4 main columns you need to be aware of: the period hours, the term hours, the period total hours for all CRNs, and the term total hours for all CRNs. The period hours refer to the number of hours accumulated by a student in the time period indicated for only one CRN. Because this report was run for week 4, the period refers to week 4 from March 19th to March 25th. The term hours refer to the number of hours accumulated by the student up until the date this report was run. So, for example, if I take a look at the student Fei Liu, the period hours are 2.5. This indicates that Fei accumulated a total of 2.5 hours during week 4 in the CRN 43576. The term hours are 12.7. This indicates that up until the end of the semester, Fei accumulated a total of 12.7 hours in the lab CRN 43576. If I look below, it indicates the second CRN I ran the report for. The period hours is 0. This indicates that during week 4, Fei did not accumulate any hours in the lab CRN 43336. However, the term hours is 1.9. This indicates that up until the date this report was run, Fei accumulated a total of 1.9 hours in the lab CRN 43336. However, none of those 1.9 hours were earned during week 4. Next to the term hours is the period total hours for all CRNs. This refers to the number of hours accumulated by a student in the time period indicated for all of the CRNs requested. It retrieves a sum total and does not show how many hours were accumulated for each of the CRNs. So, for example, for Fei, the period total hours for all CRNs is 2.5. That means that during week 4, Fei accumulated a total of 2.5 hours in both CRNs 43576 and 43336. It does not tell me how many hours was accumulated in the specific CRN. It only provides the sum total. Next to the period total hours for all CRNs is the term total hours for all CRNs. This refers to the number of hours accumulated by a student up until the end of the semester for all of the CRNs requested. This provides a sum total of all of the hours accumulated by the student up until the date this report was run. Again, it does not show how many hours was earned in each of the CRNs requested. So for Fei, the term total hours for all CRNs indicates that she accumulated a total of 14.6 hours in either of the CRNs. It does not tell me how many hours was earned in a specific CRN in either 43576 or 44336. So, if I'm only interested in the number of hours accumulated by a student in any of or all of the tutoring facilities or computer facilities, then the period total hours for all CRNs and the term total hours for all CRNs would be the columns most beneficial to me. If on the other hand, I do take into account the number of hours accumulated by a student in a specific facility or a specific CRN, then the period hours and the term hours are the columns most beneficial to me. Now, this refers to a student who is enrolled in class CRN 41639. If I continue to scroll down, I can see that starting at line 48, here begins the attendance reports for students enrolled in class CRN 41640. If I scroll back up, I can see that number 1 refers to 41624. This attendance report compiles all of your class CRNs. If I want a hard copy of this attendance report, I can go File, Print to get a hard copy of the report. And that is how you access the lab attendance reports for 2 or more CRNs.